Hey, good morning. Okay, here we go. Loads of technical problems this morning with my Facebook Live, so I'm a little bit late. It's normally at 10 o'clock, but this is my sharing session where I'm sharing with you knowledge and wisdom that I've learned about baby massage and yoga in the last week and over the last 18 years to help you to develop personally and professionally, add more value to your business practice, and to have more confidence to share really important information and knowledge and education around why love and connection matters for parents and babies. Good morning. So first of all, what week it was last week in the Nurture Collective at Blossom and Berry. There was a lot of confusion, quite a lot of anxiety about what was the best way to continue to serve our parents and babies. Was it to take our classes online? Was it to continue in person with the permission of the government to hold our classes as support groups? Now, what I want to say to you is that there is no such thing as right or wrong. This is all about you getting in alignment with your values and what feels right for you right now. So I want you to give yourself permission to trust yourself and to see what feels right for you, your family, and your community. And know that whatever decision you make, if it's in alignment with your values, it will hold you firm, centered and grounded. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is something off the back of a post that I did last week, which created quite a few comments and quite a lot of sharing around why I think it's really important to let your baby cry. Now, at first, maybe first when you hear me say that, you might think, well, what's that about? Like letting babies cry, that's not what we teach. We teach about why we respond to babies' needs. But the reason why I think it's really important to reframe the idea of letting babies cry is because when we let babies cry, we have the opportunity to listen, okay? And listening to babies, giving babies, honouring babies' presence, good morning, honouring babies' voices, honouring babies' self-expression, allowing babies to know that they are seen and heard and they are important is the most important thing that you can ever gift to your baby, because this is the foundation of self-love and self-worth and self-expression. So when we when we hear babies crying and our first reaction is to pick a baby up and to, calm, we want to calm and comfort them, but we say, shh, stop crying, don't cry, all of those messages, what we're in essence doing is that we're making a judgment around the practice of crying or releasing a certain kind of emotion, as if the practice of crying in some way is negative, and that is coming from a judgment from ourselves as parents, probably because of how we might have been treated as children when we cried, or by others as adults when we cried, and also society's idea of what a good baby is. Is a good baby a baby that doesn't cry? Well, in my opinion, a baby that doesn't cry would be really of concern to me, because that baby wasn't wanting to connect and express themselves, and in that way the baby wouldn't be wanting to communicate. So when babies cry, this is an absolutely perfect opportunity for us to practice love, kindness and compassion and empathy for another human being. And particularly, the human beings that we love the most are babies. So somewhere along the line, something has happened in the practice of baby care, whether it's been through advice, whether it's through parenting books, whether it's through old wives' tales or advice that's given to you by your parents. Somewhere along the line, we have created this idea that self-expression of emotions or crying is a negative thing, and that good babies don't do this. Well, I think the most beautiful thing is to witness any human in full self-expression, be that in their highest joy, whether it's your child and they're giggling and laughing, or whether it's that first smile and it gives you all of that beautiful warmth and connection and happiness and that oxytocin rush, or be it that your child is calling out for you to be held, to be comforted, to be responded to. That is also a beautiful thing. And in recognizing that and seeing your power to provide that connection, to provide that grounding presence, to be that consistent center of stability and trust to your baby. That is the foundation of good infant mental health. And infant mental health is everybody's mental health. I cannot stress this enough, that what happens to us in the first 1001 days of life creates the brain architecture around our emotional resilience, how we manage stress, how we move through emotions, how our self-worth, our self-love, how much we feel that we are connected to others, part of a community, that we belong and we are accepted. All of those things happen in the first 1001 days of life. And all of those things happen through being present, connected, and fully expressing your love for your baby and allowing your baby to fully express their emotions to you, with no judgment of yourself, with no judgment of your baby, with no shaming of yourself or your baby, just pure witnessing of that relationship unfolding. This is the magic. The magic is in the connection, in the journeying, in the growth, in the learning, in getting to know your baby. So I just really want to reframe this whole ideas about babies crying and bring it back to crying is just self-expression. It is communication. And if we want our children to be able to fully express themselves, if we want our children to be confident, if we want our children to have high self-love, high self-esteem, high self-worth, it starts with honouring your baby in every day, in every moment, connecting with your baby, letting your baby know that they are enough, that they don't need to, that there's no need to seek validation, because the love is always there. It's a consistent part of your relationship with your baby. It's just super, super powerful. So I don't know if is that useful for you today to absorb as a teacher and to share in your classes, particularly when babies do cry in classes for a variety of reasons, whether they're bored or frustrated or uncomfortable or hungry or they have a wet nappy, or they just want to chat and talk to us and tell us that they want to do something else. I think it's really important to spread this information in classes so that when parents come, they don't feel that pressure to have a good baby, and that a good baby is a baby that doesn't cry, okay? I don't think there's such a thing as a good baby or a bad baby anyway. A baby that is able to fully express themselves and have their needs met and to be seen and heard and accepted is a baby that has the opportunity to reach their full potential in life. Okay, let's really start at the beginning with babies to prevent mental health issues for children and adults as we grow. I really have used this with my own children, just to be present with them, just to witness what their emotions, particularly as teenagers, just to literally just be there and ask them, how do you feel? What do you need? Just allowing full self-expression is one of the most powerful things. So let's start with babies. Let's start right at the beginning and do a reframe. So if you're a parent watching this today, I hope this has been useful. If you're a teacher who's watching this, maybe bring some of this into your classes and share a little bit of love. And remember, at the end of the day, that love has the greatest power to create sustainable, beautiful, nurturing and connected relationships. You don't need anything else as a parent other than to be a witness to your baby's needs and your baby's growth and your baby's development and your baby's journey. And you are more than enough for your baby. You are perfectly imperfect for your baby in every single way. And when you embrace that and you embrace yourself, you'll find that a lot of the noise and chatter in your mind starts to disappear, and you will find it easier to simply be, just simply be. And in the being, that's where the joy is, that's where the magic happens. Okay, so hope this has been useful for you today. Nicola is saying she absolutely agrees. I always talk about crying in classes, but it's great to have those details and a reminder. Yeah, and it's not to say that I never advocate ignoring a baby crying. That's the whole point. So when I say let your baby cry, I mean let your baby express themselves. But of course, crying is a way of communicating, and communication is how we express our needs. And when we have our needs met, we feel safe and grounded. And from a place of safety, everything flourishes. Safety in relationships is the number one thing that will allow you to reach your full potential, to grow and to develop. And that's in relationships with babies, children and adults as well. That safety, that trust is absolutely everything. So anything you can do to create that sense of safety for your baby is absolutely priceless. And as I said, listening to your baby, responding to your baby's needs, always letting your baby know that they're heard. It's absolutely so simple, but somewhere along the way we kind of got a little bit lost around that, and we treat babies in a different way to how we treat adults. And babies are beautiful, innocent, amazing bundles of potential, and how we treat them is how we basically decide to treat and create our society, because children become our society. So when we teach love, we teach compassion, we teach empathy, we promote mental health, we promote love and connection, that is how our babies and children perceive the world, and they go on to embody that and practice that in their relationships. And this is how we love the world forward. Love creates love. Nicola says, yes, it's very different from letting babies cry than listening and being with them when they cry. When a baby doesn't release as much cortisol when we are with them, absolutely. So, if we leave babies to cry, it can create a build-up of stress hormones, cortisol in the brain over a long period of time, as we see in orphanages. This can create permanent changes to the brain. It can make us more susceptible to stress. It can wire our brain for high response, which means throughout our lives we're always actively seeking stimulation because we didn't learn to self-soothe, and we didn't have our parents to help us to self-regulate our emotions. So we get stuck in these highs and lows and this pendulum swing, and that can create all kinds of behavioural problems for babies, children and adults as well, if we don't know how to self-soothe. And this all comes from how we parent and that time and presence that we invest in our relationship with our babies. So yes, lots of interesting food for thought there. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment in the box. Share with any new parents that you know that might need to hear this today. And yeah, try to use some of this information in your classes to put parents at ease, to empower parents to respond to their baby's needs, and most importantly, to allow all babies to be seen, heard, and to be loved truly for who they are, with whatever emotion they are expressing to us. Okay, lots of love. Bye.